Our coastline is tourism heaven, but this week large parts of those golden beaches landed in the sea after a freak storm which brought swells of up to 6 meters. The bill for damages could be more than 2 billion rand.
Durban is famous for its waves, and surfers along its Golden Mile usually enjoy swells of around 1.5 meters. But on Monday this week, row upon row of massive waves crashed on our coast. Last Sunday, most Durbanites were expecting unusually high tides because of the equinox, coupled with the fact that for the first time in about 18 years, the sun, moon and earth were in alignment, increasing the gravitational pull on Earth's oceans. But they didn't expect the colossal tides that wreaked havoc on the coast in the early hours of Monday morning. Winds reached gale force speeds, fueling the high tide waves up the beach and onto the promenade.
We had winds estimated of 60 to 80 knots, which is about 120 to 160 kilometers per hour.
Contrary to popular belief, meteorologist Colin Anderson doesn't believe that the extent of the waves was caused by the combination of the vernal equinox and the planetary alignment.
But this together only provided about a 20 centimeter increase into the high tide.
But the waves that crashed on our coast were a lot higher than that.
It's devastation. It's terrible, Lovey. You're not going to believe this, honestly to goodness.
It's believed that the winds that created the huge waves of around 4 to 6 meters were driven by Cyclone Gumedi off our coast.
But some of the waves could well have reached 10 meters or higher, and this is what did the damage.
Sunrise brought scenes of destruction. During the night, the waves battered the coast, snapping houses like cardboard cutouts. Roads and infrastructure were simply swallowed up by the sea, and large residential tracts lay defenseless against the elements. On Durban's Golden Mile, where there was once acres of paving, now lies completely covered by sand. Restaurant furniture lay tossed about, and the ferocious waves broke many of the shopfront windows. Belito looks like a disaster zone. The damage the waves caused is estimated to be near 1 billion rand already. Sewerage pipes were broken, roads crumbled away, and for some owners there was nothing left to salvage. This flat had all of its internal walls destroyed by the waves. Luckily, it was empty at the time.
Well, we were staying in the flat behind. We were woken up by the security guards at about 4 this morning. So we came down the side of the house and we saw that the grass was flooded with debris and so on. And I was actually on the phone to my brother-in-law to tell him that maybe he should come and give us a hand and we'll move out. And a huge double wave just came and impacted this embankment here. I looked back and it was just a huge wall of white foam.
Anticipating more walls of white foam, homeowners moved to higher ground as the tide came in again. The harbour was closed to all ships and the police tried to evacuate all danger areas along the coast.
People are very quick to forget that the beachfront has been inundated before. In the middle of the 80s we had a similar amount of water come up over the beachfront, but nowhere near the extent that has happened this time. And I can attribute that to probably 2 things. One, that we've had the highest waves that we've ever seen along this section of coast, but also between the 80s and now there's been more and more development that's occurred closer and closer to the coast.
By high tide in the afternoon, Cyclone Gumedi had started moving away from the coast. And although the winds were less ferocious than the night before, the sea swell was still exceptionally powerful. Reports of devastation had come in along the length of the coast. Many believe that the climate may well be changing, and scenes like this are a sobering indicator of things to come.
Personal feeling is that it's possibly a portent of what we can expect in the future if global warming is left unchecked, because one of the indications is that the weather systems become more extreme.
That's a chilling thought. Everyone is working around the clock to get ready for the Easter weekend holidaymakers.